me send this invite to my brother here. Okay. There we go. Send him the invite. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. All right.
I hope you guys are having a great Thursday. Welcome to the Financial Empowerment Series. I'm your host, Jesse. There's my brother down there, Jerry. What's going on, brother? Gary. I don't know
Yeah,
why I
yep.
said
It's all good.
that. Gary. Nice to see you again, Gary. How are you, my brother?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I cannot complain.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, now I can hear much better. How's your day going?
It's good, man. Can't complain. I'm actually at the frat house, man. We're trying to do the final decorations and whatnot for this Saturday. We're having our Christmas toy drive. So I'm here.
Oh,
I'll be here
nice.
for a little while. Yep.
Okay. I know it's gonna be amazing. I gotta join you guys. I definitely gotta come to Pittsburgh soon enough to join you guys. I want to be a part of that.
Oh yeah,
I
most
know it's gonna
definitely,
be.
man.
So tell me, when you guys are doing that, do you just do it in one location, or do you have like multiple locations that you work in?
No, just one location. We actually do it at our fraternity center, so our community center. So just one stop shop. People just come through. We have a big tent set up just in case for any type of delay in the weather or whatnot. And it's it's kind of center, so it's not too far from Pittsburgh anyway. And we're
Okay.
center. I know you're not familiar, but we're on the north side, so we kind of cater to that area. But anybody that did join or want to partake in getting a toy, they could register as well. So, but it's we're all registered out now, so it's like
Mhm.
we'll do walk ups too if we have any toys left. But
Okay.
other than that, but it's been pretty successful so far.
Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
got to come down there. I want to support what you guys are doing because you're helping the community and you're helping the community in the right way. You're getting involved person to person and you're establishing new relationships. That's what we need right now anyway. So it's
Yeah.
very important. Thank you everybody for joining. I'm your host, Jesse. That's my brother down there. Let everybody know who you are. You can tell them your name.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Kerry Murray, and I'm the CEO of Superset Financial, and I'm here with Jesse. Thank you for having me here.
You're very welcome, my friend. We appreciate you. Let me just do a little quick bio about you because I want everybody to know how amazing you are, all your creative abilities, and what you're doing in the community.
Oh,
Blessings and
stop,
love.
man.
Come on, we got to do. We have to build each other up because it's very important because you're doing great things. Because when you talk about financial literacy, that's needed in our community. It's very important to express that and to engage the public, especially the youth, the elderly, everybody involved, because it's a community effort to educate us on what finances really is, so we're not being taken advantage of by other people from outside the community and from
Yep.
people from inside the community. So it's very important to highlight brothers like you who are in the community every single day, providing the proper resources. So let me just read off a few little things because I know this is good, and these guys need to know how good it is too.
Appreciate you.
Guys. So Kerry brings over 15 years of experience in the financial industry. He worked with major banking institutions, currently serves as a fiscal auditor for the city of Pittsburgh, that's fire, where he
Hmm.
ensures financial accountability, stewardships at the municipal level. That's amazing. But that's not all, guys. Carey is also the founder and CEO of the Superset Financial, a company built on his passion for financial literacy, empowerment, and helping people create generational wealth. That's what we all need, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And
Yep.
beyond that, his professional work, Carey is also the proud member of Omega Phi Fraternity Incorporated, where he
Omega
serves
Sci-Fi.
as a
I'm
keeper.
sorry. Omega Sci-Fi.
Thank you. Omega Psi-Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I want to fix that. Where he serves as a keeper of finance for his chapter and continuing his commitment to financial stewardship in the area of his life. That is incredible. And today he's here to break down the practical tools, share real insights, and help us strengthen our financial foundation. And this is a conversation that we all need and nobody needs to miss. If you guys know anybody who's in need of this information, share this live. Also, guys, I'm going to give a free giveaway. Just stay around, guys. You can send me the number one. Send me the number one in the DM, and I will send you a free wellness guide for you and your family. This is free because I just want to show that I appreciate you guys for being here because it's very important that we talk about these issues so we can all thrive together and succeed together. Right, my brother?
Yes,
Make
sir.
sure. Yes. So let me just start off with a few questions because I know everybody probably going to have some questions of themselves. So what we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to read off 4 questions. My brother here's going to answer. And then when you have a chance, or when we have a chance, we'll break it down for you guys to ask some questions as well. And he'll do his presentation before that, too. So let me just start with the first question, my brother. All right. What's one financial habit or mindset shift that you think separates people or builds wealth from those who are struggling?
It's honestly the answer right there is in that question is the mindset, man. So what a lot of people don't understand or are aware of is like, for example, like if you do sometimes we do stuff and we're like, why did I do that? And it could be a paradigm from your ancestors or what they've done in the past that they built a habit that you inherited it. You know what I mean? So for example, we got people that went to school and you got some that are successful and you got the same people that went and got degrees in the same area, but they're not as successful. So that causes a lot of frustration. Like, I went and got this and did this. Why aren't I successful? And it comes down to the paradigm of what you think. So it really comes down to the subconscious mind of how you think and respond to everything. And it's bringing everything aware. So like once you figure out what's going on and being more aware of how you think, you're waking up from like wow, I really thought I was a positive guy until I really sat down and did an audit of how I thought, so I was like that, like you have so many different thoughts that run through your mind. It's crazy. So I try to be mindful of that. But that's it right there. It's the mindset. And then also what it goes down to is it's a shift from being the consumer to being the owner and investor. So most people they get paid and immediately think, what can I buy? So what bills do I need to pay? Instead of thinking of themselves first. So, but as wealth builders, whenever they get paid, they're thinking, how can I make money work for them? So it's you're playing chess with money, man. You gotta work money before the money works you. So it's the concept of you have to pay yourself first. It's not about saying, what is left over after spending. It's about spending what is left over after saving. Okay. So if you don't prioritize your future and with investing or saving at all before you pay Nike or Apple, you will never get ahead. So
Mhm. That's true. That goes with your vision as well. If you don't have a vision, you can't see yourself doing anything financially. So
yep.
what you're talking about is just understanding what your goals are too, putting that in your mind, and then putting it on paper too, so you can see what my finances need to thrive in the community, or they just need to be with me because I may have children and I may be struggling with other areas in my life. So if my finances are out of whack, everything else is going to be out of whack too. So I
hmm
have to have the right mindset and also the right vision and put that together and not just scatter my money. Oh, give it to this company, give it to that brand, give it to this industry. Why am I not investing in the most important person, which is myself? Because
Yep.
when I invest in myself, my family will look better, my community will look better, and I will wake up every morning feeling confident. That makes a
Yep.
lot of sense. Makes
And
a lot of
the
sense.
mindset's the foundation, man. That's where it's at. You know what I mean? If your mind's not right, everything else falters. If you don't have boundaries, you're gonna have chaos. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Understanding that the boundary first starts at home to where have to say no sometimes. I
yep.
have to say no and plan things. I can't just be spontaneous all the time and go off of impulses looking for short-term dopamine highs. That's very true.
Mhm.
Got a few, my brother. Then we're going to break down to your presentation because I want to get to yours too. I just want to get the
Now
other
I was
one.
gonna save the presentation, like, cause I could talk all day about this. I'm gonna save the presentation for part two. Whenever possible. I mean,
If you can give us a little piece of that, that'd be
yeah,
great. If you give us a little piece, that'd be great. But we'll
I
see.
can do that.
We throw it around. Okay. Let me get another one. A lot of people feel overwhelmed when it comes to managing their finances. Where should someone start if they're looking to get their finances or their financial foundation in order?
You got to start with yourself, man. You have to stop guessing and face the numbers. So you can't improve on what you can't measure. You know what I mean? Just like we're working out, like you have a goal that's set that you want to meet. You have to have metrics to go off and measure. So it's the overwhelm comes from the unknown. So in order to counteract that fear, you have to get knowledge on it, applied knowledge. So it's the fear of opening up that banking app, man. Like once you open up that banking app, a lot of people want to do that. They're like we think backwards. So we're thinking like, hey, if I spend this, how can I manage this overdraft? Like, so what I need to do that instead of focus on, just nipping everything in the bud and then not approaching that problem. Why would I want to encounter a problem in the future that I set up for myself instead
Right.
of handling it right now? So, but it's an emotional thing. So a lot of times when we make emotional decisions, it's not for the best. It's not good. So, um, it's the fear of opening up the banking app, and then also, um, the next step should be is printing off your bank statements too as well, like at least 3 months. I'll give you a story real quick. Um, a few years ago, I was into I'm still in. I was doing shows like bodybuilding shows and whatnot. So I saw the results, and one of my friends I went to college with, she wanted to compete in physique, like women's physique. And so I had her meet with my trainer. So he laid the price down and everything. And she came back to me and was like, I don't know if I can afford it. I was like, all
Okay.
right, well, why don't we meet at school? Because we still had access to the computer room. And I said, bring your statements and let me take a look at it, because at the time I was a relationship manager at the bank, so that was my job, to help customers be able to retain their accounts who've been having problems or issues with their accounts. So I prevented from I came up with strategies so that their account wouldn't close. So
Okay.
we're looking over what she spent on we were looking over her statements and everything, and come to find out she spent a good amount on eating out.
Mm.
So once she saw that, there's a shift in her mindset. Like, okay, all right, well, I need to calm down on the eating out part, because when you think about it, $5 here, $10 there, $15 here. Okay, I can do that, but then it accrues. It accumulates. Like,
Right.
dang, I spent that much. And that's from not being aware, just thinking like, okay, $10 not that much. You just going into cruise control, swiping the card.
Yeah.
So once
Yeah.
she did that, she got a handle. She got a handle of on her finances, and she was able to pay for the trainer. She was able to compete, and she actually came in first place.
Oh wow.
Because yeah, she's an athlete. So, but like, that's how much, and like, it give you so much confidence too, knowing that you have the power to look at your finances. But it really comes down to strategy. So,
Yeah. That's very true.
but
Because sometimes you got to finance, you get scared. Like, I don't want to look at it. It's like a little ghost in the room. Like, you see a little ghost there? That's your wallet. Open up your
yep.
wallet, look at your financial statement. If you don't know, ask an advisor like yourself or someone else in your community that you can trust. It's all about building relationships, because once you take power away from other people, you gain more confidence, just like you were just saying, because you sat her down, you went over the statement, and you built a relationship prior to that. So when you build a relationship prior to that, it's easy to talk about these things, because we have to demystify money. We have to understand that it's a tool to be used, and the tool must be used to help us manifest our destiny by understanding a structured plan to our finances. That's how we're
Mhm.
going to succeed. I like that story. That's a
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, but like you say, you got to use the tool. You can't just look at it and not pick it up. Like, it's right there, and then like not use it. And then a lot of the banking apps, they break down everything for you.
Right.
But I
Right.
I highly suggest printing out your statements, because sometimes when you're doing something that you're not used to doing, you overwhelm yourself. Like, no, what, let me look at something else. Let me go on Instagram. Let me do this and let me do that. So it's, you print it out, look at it, and like, okay, I did some damage. All right, so now I got to break this down. So, and it really come down to discipline, and then you're not facing the same issues every week or every day. You know what I mean? So now you changing everything up. Now you're being more disciplined. Now you're more aware, and now you can hold yourself accountable to what's going on.
Right. That's very true. I like that breakdown, because
Mhm.
you made it very understandable. Because now I understand it too. Because I know I've gone through the same issues myself, to where I look at my finance like, oh, I'll deal with it later, but it accumulates, and
Mhm.
then it blows up in your face. It's pretty much like a bubble. Like they're always talking about in the stock market, the stock bubble. Your finances is a bubble. It's gonna pop. You can't spend, 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 and not invest, which is in you. That makes
Yep.
a lot of sense. I like that.
Yep. And like, it happens to everybody, man. It happens to me too. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not immune to it. It just, you really
right.
have to stay aware. Just like working out. Like, whenever I told you I was doing shows, once I got to a certain weight, I'm like, okay, cool. I can be like
Mhm.
everybody else. I ain't pay attention to what I was doing. I was eating whatever I want. I worked out sparingly, and then boom, I blew up again. So now
Right.
I had to go back
I've
and
been
get
there. I've been there. I've been
Yep.
there. I
It's
know
a
what
it's
those.
a, it's a constant battle. You know what I mean? But like the more aware you are, the more room you have to be able to like, okay, I can eat that. Now you're being more decisive instead of impulsive. You know.
Right. Because I have concentration and I understand what I'm doing. I'm not afraid anymore. Because when we take away the fear, that's when the strength comes.
Yep. Exactly. I like that.
That's all we need. Everything is just fear based, but a lot of times we have more power when we don't have the fear inside of us.
Yep.
I don't want to see it. Hold on. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
It's weird, but I can't see you. That's strange. Give me 1 second.
Hmm.
I don't know why I can't see you. Okay, there we go. Boom. Now we're back. That's strange. But anyway, technical difficulties and all, we're still moving forward.
Yep.
All
That's
right.
it.
Let's go on to question 3. Okay, so you've worked in both corporate banking and now as a fiscal auditor for the city of Pittsburgh. What's one thing you learned from? I'm sorry. What's one thing you learned from that the experience that you're teaching every day can help people manage their money?
We pretty much covered it. I think it's the importance of internal controls and forecasting. So, like I said, being aware and then looking at the numbers, not being scared to look at the app. And now you can see and look like, okay, I can do this, I can do that. Now you can make better judgments and decisions on, okay, well, I can't do that, instead of be like, you know, I
Right.
haven't I haven't gone out in a while. I'm gonna go out this weekend, and I'm gonna swipe and I'll deal with it on Monday. Now
Right.
you're gonna have a, like, it's we like when things happen, or if we're emotional about something, we tend to to lean towards things that give us instant gratification,
All the time.
all the
All the
time, and it's easy to do, so it feels good in the moment. Then once it's over, your heart drops a little bit, your heartbeat start beating a little bit faster, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, now I got to deal with this, and now you try to find something else to give you that instant gratification. So it's a
right.
domino effect, man. So it's real important to know your internal controls and your forecasting, and then be able to forecast what's going on. So, from being an auditor for the city, it doesn't just it doesn't just spend money and hope the checks clear. Like, they have a budget, they
Mhm.
have forecasts, and they have audits to catch like leaks. So. In regards to everyday application, most people treat their personal finances as like a hobby,
Right.
but they need to run their household like a business. you
Mhm.
know like with everything else, like, I'm not married or anything like that, but marriage, you got to treat like a business. Anything
Yeah,
that
you got
you
the
that you put your
mindset.
heart into, you got to
Yeah.
treat it
Yeah.
like such. If that's your
Yeah.
passion, that's what he needs to do. Like, hobbies don't pay. You spending more.
Mhm.
Whenever I was doing the whole bodybuilding thing, like, I was vested. I was working out when I didn't feel like working out. I was eating the right foods that whenever I didn't feel like eating the right foods, and I was doing the
Exactly.
cardio when I didn't feel like doing the cardio. Don't get me wrong, like, so, I fell on my back a few times, but if I fall on my back, I can look up. You know what I mean? If I can look up, I can get up.
Yeah.
And so it's the rebound has to be quicker, because nobody's perfect. It's gonna happen. Like, oh,
You have to
I looked at the
fail.
wrong thing.
You have to
Um,
fail. You have to understand that failure is necessary.
yep,
In any form of life, you have to fail because your failure allows you to build up those physical or mental calluses to where the next time you fall, you won't stay down long. And when it comes to the
exactly.
financial failure, sometimes those failures are big and they don't just
Hmm.
impact you, they may impact your wife, they may impact your husband, and they may impact your children. And also, it may impact everyone in the household that may not be necessarily related to you, but because of your financial decisions, everyone else now has to dive in to either fix it or abandon ship. And you
Yep.
don't want to be a person in a sinking ship because when you do that, just like the rats, they go every place and everywhere. But that's why what you're doing is you give them a blanket and you give them an umbrella. You give them the
Hmm.
umbrella first to where, okay, it's raining, so let's fix that. Now you can go in the house with your blanket and be comfortable
Yep.
because we're all steps. Everything we do is steps. Everything we do is structure. Everything is consistency. Just like we just said, you're not married, but in a relationship, you can't just think about you want to have fun, you want to party. You have to think about what are the long-term goals.
Hmm.
What is my credit score? What is my financial background? How much money am I spending every day on dates? And when I
Yep.
do go on a date, what am I going? Am I just going to impress someone? And also, is this a serious relationship with my finances or with my children too? All these different things we have to consider. It's very important that we look at what we're doing with the money because money is here to help us. We have to use it so we can grow and advance in life and not become a slave of the finances, but reverse that so we can push it forward.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
Exactly.
I agree
So,
with
and
you.
then with that, like, and then as an auditor, like, I look for, for where resources are being wasted too. Like, you pretty much said it right there. And then in personal finances, we all have leaks, unused subscriptions, late fees, impulse buys, man. And if a multi-million-dollar city needs to be watched needs to watch every penny and to stay afloat, so do we,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's pretty much how we run it with me being an auditor. Like, I'm looking for the ins and outs. Okay, why did you spend money on that? Was this approved? Was this part of the budget? Who's the vendor that we're using it and whatnot. So that's the type of approach you should be able to approach your finances too as well. So
I like how you activate, my brother. I
mhm.
like how you activate. If I had you in my company, I wouldn't be looking at my finances. I'll be having this brother here because I value what you're saying and I see that you actually put your heart into it. And
Mhm.
you took the time and years to learn this. I love this. Good. Thank you guys again for joining. Thank you for being here, guys. I hope you were enjoying this. We have a few more questions left. After that, he's going to talk a little bit more about what he's doing. And also, guys, you guys can ask some questions and if you want to talk to him later, you can follow him on his social media, and you guys can continue the conversation and continue to build relationships there. Let me get to one more question, brother.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so financial literacy isn't always taught in schools, as we already know, or at home. How do you approach teaching people about money in a way that's actually empowering them and not intimidating them? Because sometimes it does intimidate us, and it can make us, as we talked about earlier, it can make us want run away from it.
Yep. In life, like, who are we to judge anybody, man? Like,
Mhm.
I can't judge anybody, because like I'm not perfect. If I was perfect, then maybe it might be a different story, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, we everybody goes through something. Everybody makes mistakes. You might be a hero in one person's story, and you might be an enemy in another person's story, but that might be the version of you that they unfortunately got. But hopefully you're making ways to improve on that and be a better person, in the future. So it's what we do. Long story short is we have to remove the shame and focus on the goal. So money, like I said, money is emotional. So many people feel ashamed about their past mistakes, about their debt. So, I teach by letting people know that their past, financial decisions, it doesn't define their future, man. So with the approach, I don't start with complicated charts or stock markets or anything like that. We start with the why, and you pretty much said that. What's the why? What do you want? Why do you want money? Is it for time with your kids? Is it for retirement early? Is it to travel? Do you want to invest in your fitness? Because what happens, it sounds good. So we're in an emotional state where, okay, I need to get better. Like, new year, new me. I need to get fit. So we'll pay for to get fit and whatnot. And then say we make an emotional or impulse buy, for example, the new I don't know the name of the Jordans, but they just came out. I think they're like $250 or $400 or whatnot.
Mm,
And so a lot of people bought those, but they might skip out on paying for a gym membership or a trainer. And now they
right.
got to let the trainer know, like, look, like, I won't be able to do it this week, but because of an impulse buy, like, if you would have been looking at your finances and figuring out or put money aside for that like specific buy, then you wouldn't be in a position where, like, you're jeopardizing your health. Because what are you going to do with the wealth if you don't have the health, man?
Exactly.
So with the approach, I don't start with like I said, I don't start with complicated charts. It's about the why, and then what do you want to do with that money, and then once we know the goal, the money just becomes a tool to get there. That's the empowering part. So once you have control of how you want the money to work for you, the sky's the limit. But it all comes down to the mindset, making sure that that you're mentally sound, and then this is where we learn, grow, and build from there.
That's true. That's a good answer.
Mhm.
Being financially sound, having a good mindset, understanding what you're doing, understanding where you're going, looking at everything with a detailed approach, and not being afraid. That's pretty much what we'll be talking about the whole time.
Yep.
Not being afraid to address the boogeyman in the room. And the boogeyman in the room is a thing that's been accumulating over years, sometimes weeks and months. And that's because we're in holidays right now. And so we're going to run up a lot of debt. We're going to try to take care of bills really quickly. We're going to try to buy gifts that we know people need, but we might buy the most expensive thing because, of course, we're impulse buying. So how do we understand that an impulse can sometimes lead you deflated in your financial department? How do we
Yeah.
understand that?
So with that, it really comes down to like I said, it comes down to your mind, man. Because what the brain's meant to do is to make you feel comfortable. I'll give you a funny story, man. Because sometimes you can be consistent with stuff like working out or anything, then your brain's going to tell you like, you know what, you've been working hard, Kerry. Just go back. You're good. You're good. Like, and
You
then the
nailed it
story,
that way.
and then
Yeah,
like a story I got for you is when I
yeah.
was real heavy into working out. Like, I was reading, I forgot the name of the book, but like a body in motion stays in motion, a body in bed stays in bed. So I got to a point where I was consistent. Like, as soon as I woke up, I got up. Like, I'm out the bed because like I don't want to mess around and get up and stretch, and then like I'm gonna reach for my phone,
Yeah,
and all of a sudden I get a little bit tired because that second round of sleep is a deeper sleep and it feels good, man. So I literally jump up. I'll get up out of bed. All right, cool. I'm
yeah.
up. I'm out. So
You want focus.
yeah, full focus. But what happened
Focus
was
every
I
single day.
did. Yep, I did that one day. I got up, got dressed, and I got up, got dressed, walked out the door, shut the door, locked the door, and I hesitated because my brain was like, "Yo, you were going hard, man. You were working here, you're working there.
Yeah.
You've been working out. Your abs are there, man. Like you're good. Like
Hmm.
when's the show? It's about a month and a half out. Cool. Like why don't you go back to bed? I unlocked the door, walked back
Yeah.
inside, shut the door, went back to bed, and guess how I felt when I woke up, man.
Uh-huh.
I felt horrible because
Exactly.
it was so lazy. Like now I'm talking bad to myself because yeah, it's a mindset, man. Like was um if the inner voice was a person, would that inner voice be your best friend? Like that,
Exactly.
yeah, it wouldn't be my best friend, man. Because that's why you got to really talk good about yourself. Speak highly of yourself, and then don't let your brain trick you, man. Because it can because like you're doing so good, or sometimes like you can do something like slightly good, and you think that's enough. It's not enough. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. So that's like I said, it's the awareness. Not hesitating and then realizing, all right, this is the goal. So keep your eye on the prize and what you got going on and stay
Absolutely.
consistent. Because what happens now is whenever you do that and you stay consistent, keep going and keep going, keep going, and staying consistent. Now that's the new norm for your brain to think that's comfortable. Just like driving, man. When we learned to drive, we had to. Well, did I go through that? I didn't have driving class. Like I had to study a book. You know what I mean? Then my mom, she'll help. Like she'll teach me how to drive. I'm
Right.
driving,
Right.
and then now I took the test. Now I keep getting that practice. I keep going over and over and over, driving. Now it's second nature. I don't even think about it. That's the goal of the brain, like to do things without having to think. That's the goal in regards to your habits, the good habits that you want to establish. You have to keep pushing that. Repetition builds it. Repetition builds it.
Hmm.
So the more you do it, the more you keep going, it's going to be automatic. Your brain's going to be like that's going to be the new norm for the brain. That's the comfortable part. That's the irony of it. That's the comfortable. Before it wasn't comfortable. Your brain was trying to tell you not to do it.
Yes.
So that's what it comes down to.
Trusting in yourself. Listen to your true voice, not the voice that says the fear. I love that. That's good. That's good. I
Mhm.
think what you're saying is so important, is needed. We have to do more of these. I have another question too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not on the list because you're talking, you're making me think about some things. What do you think is something that is a trend that you're seeing when it comes to finances, whether good or bad, whatever you think in your mind as an expert in your field, when you have people come to you or when you're reading reports, what do you think is a bad financial trend and what do you think is a good financial trend that we can actually implement that wouldn't cost us too much time, but would save us a headache going down the line in life?
Don't listen to what people say on the internet, man. Like you got well, I'm we're talking about this, but like
And we're on
there's a
the
lot of there's a
internet.
lot of negative, right? There's a lot of negative.
I love it.
There's a lot of negative on we tend to attract like we tend to we're like moths to light, man. Like when we
Yeah.
see negativity, we wanna go there. You know what I mean? So you see battles between men versus women, what men should do, or what a woman should do. Um, flexing money. This is what you need to do. This is what you need. And mind you, this is all facade. Like we don't know what type of you like that person's living, or if they're just doing something for clout. So if you see something or read something from somebody, make sure you do your research first.
Yeah.
You know,
Very
and
true.
instead of just doing the impulse, because there's certain things that we do or say. You can type in um let me see, like protein. Once you type in protein into your phone, all of a sudden you start seeing, like subconsciously, like you start seeing like commercials or something promoting protein.
It's
You
the
know what I mean?
algorithm. The
Yeah, the
algorithm.
algorithm,
The
man. The
algorithm is
algorithm.
going to
That's
follow
the
you on every social media platform, and because your phone as well is communicating with the other devices around you, and so they're
Mhm.
sending signals. So every time you click on any advertisement, they put is inside the algorithm to follow you and keep advertising you certain products continuously. So you're thinking that this is a coincidence, but it's actually not. It's watching your search patterns and it's watching how long you hover on a particular post or how long you hover on a particular item. It's very interesting. It can help you, but it can also hinder you, making you think that something is right when it actually is wrong. So it
Yep.
goes with what you're saying. Is understanding that when you look at things online, take it with a grain of salt, research it,
Yep.
give it a thorough analysis, and also ask, is this a one size fits all? Because a lot of advice sometimes is community advice.
Yep.
It's not personalized advice. Like what we're talking about right now, a lot of it is community advice. But then when you're talking about your own experiences, that's personalized because it's going to identify with a particular person in this chat right now. So we have to always analyze information and understand where is it coming from and how I can use it for my long-term benefits. Because you were talking about working out. It's the same thing.
It's the same
Right?
thing. Like something that might work for me might not work for you. You know what I mean? Like there might be a food that like you might suggest. I don't like that. I'm not eating that, or it doesn't agree with me. So that it's the same with finances, man. So everybody has a different story. Like there's a common obviously there's a goal to have generational wealth, but everybody's story is a little different. Everybody money, like everybody doesn't have the same amount of money to be able to establish or figure that out. They got to figure out how do I build this discipline up? You know what I mean? It's the layers. It's the layers of the fat that you try and get rid of. Everybody has a six pack.
Yeah.
What do you need to do to figure out how to get rid of the layers? You know what I mean? And that's just like with finances, man. So you got to really figure out what the finances are, what your guilty pleasures are too. Some people
Mm,
pleasures are different.
good one. Good one.
So and then
Good
like it's you got to create non-negotiables. Like no matter what, this is the goal. Instead, they have reverse non-negotiables. Like, oh yeah, I see that. Let me buy that. I gotta get that.
one.
Instead of saying like, I can wait. Like let me wait and build that up. Now you feel, once you do that, like I said, you feel empowered. You don't feel shackled down because you're limited with the amount of money that you have because you didn't have a strategy for it. So, but like
Exactly.
you said, like everybody has. um everybody's story is different. Whatever works for them
Yeah.
or whatever works for you might not work for me.
Very
So,
good. I have a
and that's the good
question.
thing about me. Like I like you got to be able to listen. Like if
Yeah.
people have questions about what they want to do, you got to listen and team up and figure out what would be the best way to get
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
their goal. It's not my
Yeah.
goal; it's their goal.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Very true. I have another one because you're talking about desires. A lot
Mhm.
of times on social media and other places, we see things and we dive in really quickly without thinking what the ramifications of that desire is. And I think it's a taboo when it comes to desiring things. We have to not label it as something bad. I think we go into our desires too at a heavy pace or at a fast pace because we're labeling it as bad.
Yeah.
So we put it back, 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 put it back. And then finally we find a place where no one's watching. And then we dig into it. We'll buy this shoe or buy that hat or we'll buy that car or we'll invest in something without doing a thorough analysis because we put too much taboo on it. We're beating ourselves down without understanding where did the desire come from? Why do I want to buy this thing? And who's telling me that buying this is bad?
So,
Now I
and
can buy it.
yeah.
Yeah, I can buy it, but there's a structure to it.
Yep.
Right away.
No, yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head, man. There's your structure. So there's nothing wrong with having desires
Yeah.
because the goal for you to have desires is that you want to be better. So for like you want to be better for society. So in order for you to be able to get that and handle to be able to get those desires, you have to become better. You got to be better. You know what I mean? If you're at a position where you're not where you need to be at right now, but you have a desire to get, what you want, you have to be better.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3,
Yep.
4, 5, 6.
Boom.
Not 1, 5, 8. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
Take the step, analyze, learn, because your lessons will be your blessing in the future.
Yep.
Nothing that we get financially, as far as financial understanding, comes to us like, hey, I'm financially understand. I understand. I know everything. Let me do this. Let me do. No, it's a step to it. And
Yep.
there are ways to do it. Because you're an expert and you have the thorough analysis, you study this, you're using it in an actual environment, so you know what you should and should not do. I
Mhm.
have one more question, then I'm gonna break down the question to the audience so they can ask some questions if they have. One
Okay.
more. What do you think is a good financial book that someone can look up, maybe, or something like that, or a podcast, or someone who's doing it that they can learn from to get the basics?
Um, the Financial Pocket Knife. That's a good one to read. And also, it's an older book. It's called The Automatic Millionaire.
Okay.
How you automate? So you paying yourself first. Yep. The Automatic Millionaire.
I like that.
hmm And like it's nothing like it's nothing crazy or there's no science to it. It's just building the habits, and that book literally takes you step by step of what you should do. And like it stands the test of time. Like, okay, if I do this, all right, cool, I can get to there. I can do this, then I can get to there. And then you have to be patient with it too. It's just like with working out. Like it feels good. Like, okay, I got, like, for example, whenever I really wanted to pursue bodybuilding, my coach, like, he gave me my workout plan, my diet plan. It's simple. Like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I'm thinking it'd probably be more than this. No, it was simple. And then I'm looking at it, and then I was like, okay, where the ab workout at? You don't need the abs. If you do the cardio, you do the workout, and you eat right, the abs going to show, because the
Absolutely.
workouts that you're doing incorporates your core anyway. You know, and then like now, and this is the issue that we get, with people now, because like they'll come to people, like they'll come to you for help, but then they become experts because, well, I read this and this and that. You came to me. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Like I'm not like that, but that's in my back of my mind. Like,
No, but I
you came to
understand what
me,
you're saying because
but
like you're comparing my real life teaching to a book, which is actually very successful, but I'm giving you my experience because I've done this and I've seen your body type, I've seen your issues before. So trust in me. That's where it comes down to trust again. Can we build a relationship? Can you be vulnerable? When it comes to
yep,
finances or fitness, it's all about vulnerability and trust.
and
And
faith. You gotta have
understanding
faith.
that, yeah, have faith. And it's understanding that this is a long-term goal. This is not just to be rich overnight. This is not
Yep,
just to get abs overnight. This is not just to go buy the best car. This is not just so you can look good with a shirt off. This is about longevity. Fitness is longevity. Finances is longevity.
yep.
I agree with that. That's a good story. I like that story.
Yeah,
That was
man.
good.
Like he told me that, like, I did what, like, I was talking about, like, nah, like, I know I need to do abs,
Mm.
but let me see. Is it possible to beating yourself up about desire is through conviction, stating that the money should be. I'm sorry, I'm just reading it too because it's
Oh, no, I'm
something.
looking at it too at the same
Yeah.
time. You can answer that if you like.
Yeah, is it possible that beating yourself up about the desire is through conviction, stated the money? It's possible, but I feel like whenever if you want more, that means I compare it to, like, I have a lot of analogies, man. It's like updating your phone. Like, if you don't update your phone for a while, it's gonna glitch. You know what I
Yes,
mean? So
sir.
now,
Yes,
in order
sir.
for you to that's my cousin too. How you doing? How you doing, Reva?
Thank you for
Yeah.
joining.
But it's like updating your phone. Like, okay, well, it keeps glitching. Now I have the desire to update it. I need to update it, so I have to download everything, get the information, apply it, so I can have the knowledge to do more. So it's easy to beat yourself up, but I think you have to change the perspective on how
Mhm.
you look at it. You know what I mean? So, like, changing the perspective to it, not beating yourself up, but looking at it as a challenge, because you have to embrace the process. Once you embrace that process, the things that you do to like whatever you accomplish, you hold it near and dear now because you went through the steps and you're not beating yourself up. I think that's the first step whenever you're beating yourself up, um, is the overwhelming of the unknown. So but once you get the knowledge, and you gotta figure out what's best for you, and it's trial and error too.
Yeah.
Reva. like Dr. Riva. Like it's trial and error, find out what works best, and that's the thing. Like we're just talking about it. Like what works, for some people might not work for you. So, and then also, in order for you to figure out if it's working, you have to give it time. Because like with the way information is, like we get fed constant information all the time. You
You
know
have
what
to
I
have
mean?
a signal. You have to trust. You have to trust the signal. It's something that they call about signal. Everything has a signal to it,
Mhm.
whether good or bad. Social media, or you're studying something or learning a new craft. Everything has a signal. We have to focus on the signal and avoid all the background noise.
Yep,
It's like being
exactly.
in a tunnel where there's wind blowing all around you. Focus on the signal. Even if you're tired, even if you're sick, even if your back hurts, even if your leg hurts, even if your finances are bad, even if you have a bad relationship, focus on the signal because that will take you to where you need to go, not
Hmm.
where you are, but where you need to go. And that's the most important thing because even taboo in finances is about your environment too. What's in our environment? So we can understand our environment impacts how we spend. Who we're around impacts how we spend. Who
Hmm.
you're married to impacts how you spend. What you look at on TV impacts how you spend. Understanding the environment is the best way to change how you're going.
And so purchasing shoes or a new car as a desire is not necessarily good financially. It can be good, like if that's a desire, but it depends on where you're at. Like I wouldn't pay to get a new car or shoes if I don't need it, and then also if I wasn't financially sound. If you don't have the discipline, I definitely wouldn't recommend buying the shoes or a new car. But if you're at a place where like I can do that,
Yeah,
yeah, like yeah, that's your desire. Go ahead and get it, because you know what to do with your finances and your discipline.
very true.
Appreciate you, cuz.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you, sister. Hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless.
Mhm. But
Thank
yeah,
you so
that's
much.
yeah, she's great. But but yeah, it's discipline, man. Like if you have desires, like you see something like for me, my goal, I want a model home. So how am I going to get there to get the model home? Well, like because like if like I did the just to cut to something else, like I don't know if you've seen where Steve Harvey said write down 300 goals. I did
Yeah.
that, so I wrote down 300 goals, and I'm like, oh man, I ain't think I can do it. I wrote down 300 goals,
Mhm.
but as the more I wrote, the more I wanted to be able to help others. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Exactly. That's what it's
and
all about.
that's what it's about. Like it's
That's what it's all
service. Like
about.
you want to be able to help people. You
That's what
know?
finance is for. Your finances, we all help each other. Sometimes we don't even realize it. When you go to the store and buy the shoes, when you buy the car, you're helping someone else. You're helping their
Mhm.
family. And we have to realize that we're consistent. Just like what you're talking about with the 300 goals. When you have the 300 goals, you may not get all 300, but you may find something new about yourself that you never even knew. And
Yep.
you're building, and when we talk about consistency, by going after the 300, you're building consistency, you're building routine, you're building structure, and you're also building steps for someone else to follow.
Yep.
And a lot of times
Because
we
you
just
never.
spin and there's no steps.
Because you never know who's watching. Like if you watch, like I see all the time, like great athletes. Like if it wasn't for such and such, I probably wouldn't be here today. If it wasn't
Yeah.
for this and that, I wouldn't be here today. You know what I mean? Actually, one of my frat brothers, like I asked him because he's real big in the community service. He said because of my mom, if it wasn't for my mom, I don't know where I would be. Like she instilled in us that we got to be able to serve and help others. I'm like okay, because like he does a lot, man. And like sometimes I'm like I don't know how you do it, but it's the passion. Like when you have a love for something, like it's effortless. Like
Yeah.
whatever you do that's effortless, that's your gift. Like working out for me, like that's my gift. I love it. Like that's effortless to me. Like
I
I'll
love
do
that.
that.
I love that. I
So
love it. That's good because it's inside your spirit. It was a
yep.
gift to you from God, pretty much. And you're endowed with something that transforms the lives of others, which is something that you become a caretaker. And when you
Hmm.
become a caretaker, because you're nurturing the soil of others, you're applying different seeds. The seeds are your knowledge, the seed is your heart and your blood, sweat, equity. That's the thing that's transforming the lives around you. That's
Yep.
good. That's good. Guys, also, I love these comments. I love what you guys are saying. Keep them coming. Also, guys, again, if you have any questions that you want to ask our brother right here, because he is the expert, I'm just a visitor in this universe and I'm just learning from him as well. So if you have any questions right now, feel free to ask any question related to finance. And if you don't feel comfortable asking it right here, you can also send him a DM. You can ask him the question there, and you guys can set that up however you see fit. Any questions you want to ask, guys, go ahead. Let me look at the comments real quick. Let me see if I missed anything. I didn't miss anything. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So true. Stop being afraid and face the problem. That's
Hmm.
very true. M Train 135. You're right about that. You got to face the problem. You can't be afraid of things. The more fear you add to a problem, the more it becomes compound. Then it becomes a compound effect that keeps you down to where you can't do anything else.
Yep, exactly.
Elijah 12 Hill. Thank you, Elijah 12 Hill. Thank you, Food Picasso. That's my guy right there, Food Picasso. Thank you, everybody else, for joining as well. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everybody, for being here. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask right now because I think I have a million questions, but I don't want to take up too much time. We got like 14 minutes or so. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask right now so we can get the chat going because it's about community building. Because what
Hmm.
we're talking about community. In a community, there's no right or wrong answer. There's just more experience added to that answer. I may
Exactly.
know some things about finance, but the brother right here, he knows way more than me in certain levels of finance, and I need to learn from him. It's all about growing. Be humble, be honest, and be authentic about what your approach is to your finances because you're not just helping yourself, you're helping your family.
Hmm.
Very simple at the end of the day. Is everybody else involved? I have one more too.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it because you was talking about apps earlier. And I know a lot of people use the Robinhood app. What do you think is a good app someone should try to for like beginning or if they just want to learn about it, finances in general? If
You
there
want to know
are any.
about finances in general? I use this app called Stash. You know what I mean? So like you
Mm,
can so with Stash is an app where it'll give you a debit card, and depending on where you spend money at, you get a certain amount of stocks back to it.
mhm.
You know what I mean? And it really builds from there. So Stash is a really good one. I had Stash for a few years. I like that a lot. So
Okay, Stash.
and then what
Okay.
was the other one that you mentioned? I heard you say something else.
What did I just say? I just said it. It wasn't Marketplace. It was another one. I just lost my train of thought because I'm writing down your information as you talk. I'm writing certain things down that you're saying and making key information. I'm gonna bring it back up to you later anyway.
Okay.
Also, guys, if you guys can, because I want this to be a community effort, take a screenshot of us, send it to me or him, because I want to put that screenshot as a thumbnail to promote this video and also to promote the next one. Why am I asking you guys to do this? Because it's a community. And I want you guys to be involved in this growth as well as I am involved in this growth, but I want you guys to be involved in it as well. Hold on real quick. Let me finish
Mhm.
writing that down. And what do you think are some of the things that people should try in holidays? I'm sorry. Here we go. Can empowerment and financial success devour us from our spiritual path? You can go ahead and I'll go after.
Wait, is that a new question?
Oh, yes. Can empowerment and financial success detour us from our spiritual path? Thank you,
No,
Kevin.
because money is a tool. I know you hear like money is the root of all evil, but it's the focus on it. You know what I mean? Like if you keep focusing on anything that takes away from God, like that's bad. You know what I mean? Because you're putting everything else first before Him. So you want to put God first, and then you know, pray about it, and then you utilize what you need to use to, because like I said, like desires that you have, there's nothing wrong with having that. In the Bible, it doesn't want you. He doesn't want you to be poor. You're not supposed to be poor. You're supposed to be humble, but always put Him first.
Mhm.
So
That's
Matthew
very
six
true.
thirty three, man.
Very true. God, wife, kids, self, finances. And God doesn't want you to be broke.
Yep.
God wants you to be wealthy so you can share the wealth with others. Because if you're broke, there's no development in the community.
Hmm.
There's no development in your house. And when you're broke, you're going to be arguing with your partner. You're going to be arguing with yourself. You're going to be arguing with your kids because once you're broke, every mental illness that you could think of starts to spring up because you're not financially equipped to take care of your environment. And God wants us to be financially equipped. God
Yep.
wants us to succeed. He wants us to nurture our community. And when our dollar circulates in the community, we're building up the economy of the entire environment. And that changes everybody's own well-being because we are a system within ourselves and we're in a world within ourselves. But when we walk to somebody else with good nature and good intention and the proper financial literacy and the proper connection with God, we become whole.
Yep.
And that wholeness allows us to succeed That's a great question. I love that question. That
Yeah,
was
I like
good.
that too. 'Cause a lot of people get
Yeah,
that confused because they feel like, well, like I just shouldn't, probably shouldn't do that. But no, it's fine. But it depends on how you use it. But like you always, in anything that you do, whether it's good or bad, you always got to put God first.
absolutely.
Like I can't just like go work like in fitness. You know what I mean? Like God comes first before that. You know.
Right. Exactly. God is the one that's the driving force. That's
Yep.
the agent of change. God gives us the knowledge, the will, the foresight, and the experiences in order to be great. We can't do nothing if we don't spend a day, a week, or hour thinking God throughout the entire day in your own way, shape, and fashion. God, give me the knowledge to be financially secure. God, give me the knowledge to be a good husband, a good wife, a good daughter, a good this and that. God, let me use my finances to give other people the empowerment to be financially strong. And
That's the
that's what you're
goal.
doing.
That's the
You're
goal.
doing it. And that's
Cause
that's
I
a
mean,
good
cause I went
thing.
through like I mean to be transparent, like I went through that. You know what I mean? Like where like my finances weren't in order at all, and like because of that, not only did I suffer consequences, but people directly to me did too as well. So you like I want to teach people to avoid what I went through. You know, so it's because sometimes what happens is like to get that awakening that you want from God, like you'll go through something. Where it's pretty tragic. Like you don't want nobody else to go through. Like I got to teach other people to do this, you know. So so I feel like through this, through fitness and then mental, I feel like those are the three. Well, and spiritual, those are the four things that I really got to take. That's where I have my passion at. So
That's true. That's a great share.
yeah,
You know a lot of great things about you. I like you, man. You're a good guy.
appreciate you, man. I appreciate. I tried. I tried.
If I had like a little bug where I could just drop some balloons and some fireballs, because this is really good information. Oh, we have another question. But this is so why a lot of people that are successful and super rich are empty in soul. I think the reason for that is a lot of people have different intentions, and God gives us free will. Now, in order to be successful for the entire whole, we have to have good intentions toward the community. But sometimes someone's intentions or to do for themselves. But even a person that's lost in the soul, they have to serve the community. If you look at a lot of people that we see as rich and those people are mean, they're evil, in order for them to do anything, they have to have a foundation or a charity or something that they're doing. Any big company, they may or may not care about the community, but they must have a charity component to where they can help the community because if they don't, they will suffer the consequences. So I think that's how some of these companies or individuals who are super rich are able to survive. God lets you decide what is right for you. He tells you what is wrong, what is right, but you have to make that decision within yourself, what is right and what is wrong. It becomes very complicated because we see people who are super rich who use their intellect and instinct and they use their spirit and heart to accumulate wealth, but they forget the connection with God. Then you see people who pray to God and do good things for others, but they're not financially literate. That's another thing. God wants you to have knowledge. They went the other route. Some of them, some. They use the finance to build their wealth up. And you have the free will. A lot of times when we're good people, we don't think that we have to study and learn certain things because we think God will do this and God will do that. God wants you to walk the first step and then he'll take you the next 10. But
Yep.
that first step sometimes is the hardest step. So that's why when we see other people who are doing that, they are financially literate in the world of man.
Yep.
In the spiritual world, they're dead. Some, not all, some. And so we must understand the value of intelligence and the value of working hard beyond our programming and beyond our system. That's how I see, in my opinion, not his opinion, in my opinion, on how these things are happening in the world today. That's just my
That
opinion.
and then it has to be earned. You know what I mean? So if you ask God for patience, He gonna send something to test your patience.
Yeah. All
You
the
know,
time.
if you yeah, all the time, like you know what I mean. So anything that you got, like anything that you ask for, is gonna be a lesson for you to get better and cherish it a lot better. And now you know how to maneuver and work through it. Now you created the path. You and God created that path. Now you can teach others to do the same. You know,
Exactly.
so because if it was given to you, like, Mom, can I have $5? Boom, give me $5. All right, cool. You know what I mean? Instead of like, I'll teach you how to get the $5. Okay, now you got everything thinking like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that. How am I now? How can I repeat that process? You know what I mean? Now you're thinking. You know, so it's a lot that goes into it, but it also has to be. um, what your gift is, and what you want to do. Because like you said, like a lot of people, they can get that money, they know how to do it, but they're empty on the inside. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even
Yeah.
with, you can have the money, but unfortunately, you have people who they still feel like they're not worth anything, and that's the sad part. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so.
Miss the connection. We miss our spiritual connection to whoever you call God. God is all things. God is in all things. God is in the up and the down. God is in computers. God is in the phone, because God gives you the intellect, and the internet. That's a funny form of word. He gives you the internet. He gives you the ability to create things. Now, with a connection to God, we must know that what we create must be utilized for the entire whole. There are individuals, just like you said, some who are dead spiritually, possibly, or trauma. They had trauma from a long time ago, and that trauma went away as far as staying inside a certain part of their body. They disassociated themselves with the trauma, and they did not deal with that. So that's why they use finances in order to outlast the pain. If you're
Mhm.
financially rich and you're wealthy, you have all the things that you want on the physical level, the pain to some goes away. And so by shopping as well, you see people buying this and that, buying there, buying here, buying sneakers, buying hats, buying clothes, buying people. Sometimes there's a trauma that they're trying to remove from themselves, but that trauma manifests in their spending patterns.
Yep.
That's where we have to see it sometimes. We have to understand that these people are playing a part in the grand scheme of the universe anyway. And we must know that we must stay closer to our spirits, and we must stay closer to ourselves, and not spend too much time in the world as far as watching everything that happens, because we must understand that when we journey inward, we can go out in the world with more confidence, because we build inward, because that's where heaven is. That's where God is, inside. And God will teach you how to go further.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm a great family. I'm successful. Thanks, God. You are very successful, bro. I've seen your family. Your family's a wonderful family. I love what you're doing, because this guy right here, he's very motivating. He's exercises. He trains his own son as well. He trains others, and he makes great content too. This brother,
That's
I
what's
love
up.
you. He's a great guy. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Or Kevin, do you have any more questions that you'd like to ask as well? Because we're about to wrap it up anyway. It's 1:28 on the clock right now. And also, if you have any closing thoughts, my brother, if you'd like to say anything else.
No, like I said, it's just repetition builds it. Like, whatever you put your mind to, and then, like, whether it's finances, spiritual, your mental, your mental capacity, or I think I said finances already, but you have to build that paradigm for yourself. Another good book to read, that opened my eyes a lot, is by Bob Proctor. Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life, because a lot of stuff that we do or go through were paradigms that were set from my ancestors from years ago. So you want to change that. But that's pretty much it. But like, it really starts with your mindset. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to your best friend. Like, it's okay. Like, get back up, do better. Don't call yourself out of your name. Don't belittle yourself. We already have a lot of stuff that's against us here in this world. Don't be against yourself.
Absolutely. I love that. Don't fight yourself. Love
Hmm.
yourself. Love yourself and love your community. And you'll start to find reasons to live longer, and also to help people, because you found love in you. I love that. That's good. Also, guys, again, thank you for joining us for part one. Part two will be January the 3rd, the same time, 12:30 p.m. EST. And we look forward to seeing you guys there. And also bring your family, bring your wife, your mother, your cousin Pookie, your nephew Day Day, anybody in your family, bring your dog, bring everybody, because this is a community effort. Again, like I said before, I want to stress that a community that thinks together will succeed together, because we are coming together with our minds, body, heart, and soul aligned with God, because God wants you to be great, but He wants you to take the steps to get there. One step for us is 10 steps He'll come to us, and He'll take us the next way. But again, guys, too, if you would like to receive a free gift, because I want to give you guys a free gift for coming, I have a free wellness guide. All you have to do is DM me the number 1, and I will send you a free wellness guide for you and your family. There's no catch. There's no selling after that. I'm just going to send you a free gift, and you guys will be all right. You can go on your merry way. But if you don't want that, just share this live and come back for the next one. Remember, guys, January the 3rd, but I'll be promoting it anyway from now till then. And I'm going to be resharing this video. I'm going to edit it up so you guys can see different clips that you love, and keep going. Anything you want to add, my brother?
Oh yeah, like you said, free. Like what I offer too, like if you need help trying to get your finances together, there's no catch. Like it's free. Like you get the financial literacy. Like I sit down with you, go over your bank statements and whatnot, figure out what's good for you. If you want to take on anything that I do offer, you can definitely do so. But I get paid through whoever with the companies I get sponsored for. You know, so your money's being invested. Like you're not paying me, the company's paying me. But like I said, like if you do want to reach out to me and you want to look over your finances and figure out the best way to be in a better position in regards to that, you can definitely do so. And I definitely will take the time to do it.
I love it. Thank you so much, my brother. We appreciate you. God bless you. God bless everybody in the
Man.
comment section. God bless everybody who's watching, and God bless you and your family. And may you continually to be aligned with God financially, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
to you guys soon. Thank you,
All
brother.
right.
See you,
God
man.
bless.
Yes,
Bye
sir.
bye.